In this video, we're going to discuss proper cornering. There's a proper place for your car in every corner in the world. Fortunately, we have a clue to that as to where to put the car. The late Mark Donohue brought this equation to motorsports years ago to tell us how hard we could run a car, anywhere, anytime. And we're also going to discuss maybe a 90-degree right-hand turn. These are not to scale. 15 is a constant. Don't worry about that. 15 times grip. Grip is our biggest factor here because grip is the contact patch. What can the tire do right now? That is our limiting factor in a car. Well, besides the driver, what can this tire do right now? So we're going to make this a 1G car, so for argument's sake. So let's say the car can generate 1G cornering or braking or turning. 15 times grip times radius. Radius is the arc you draw through the corner. So you come from over here, and you get down to the inside, and you go to the outside. So 15 times grip time. Now, this is using your lane. You're not allowed to use oncoming traffic. We have the luxury on the racetrack of using the whole track, but not on the street. So 15 times grip times radius equal mile per hour squared. Let's make this a 100-foot radius. And 15 times 1, and we'll do the math here, and we'll divide that, and that's 38 miles an hour through this corner on a constant radius arc. And that constant radius means that's all the tire can do. Part of that, we go back to our steering wheel and tie a rope around the bottom of your wheel into your big toe. And as long as your hands are straight, you've got 100% of the tire's acceleration available and 100% of its braking available. So this particular arc here, what that 1G means is for this arc I have drawn, a constant radius arc, I put this much steering in, and that leaves over, because of the cable, this much throttle. If I add any steering or any throttle, it's going to push or understeer. Most everything you're driving has push or understeer built in. But what I'd like to do is focus on getting down the next straightaway faster. See, I can't add any speed to 38 until I unwind some string. So the way we're going to unwind some string sooner is actually come down here and turn in a little later. Yes, it's sharper. Yes, it's a little slower, but we're going to turn with the brakes on anyway. We've discussed trailing brake. You got to turn with the brake on to point the car. And that later turn in gives us a little later apex. Apex, according to the dictionary, is a geometric midpoint of a corner. But for driving, you can pretty well figure it's later than the midpoint. I can pretty well guarantee you that. So with a little bit later apex and later angle of attack to the apex, what that's going to do is from here out, it becomes a bit of an increasing radius exit. So I'm actually unwinding some string, which means I'm adding power starting somewhere in here. And I'll see some 44 miles an hour by the time I get out here. And that 6 miles an hour speed is cumulative down the next straightaway. So the key is I'm looking to get out of this corner as hard as possible, not into the corner. Unfortunately, our worstest, that's a Georgia Tech term, our worstest natural instinct in the world is coming in early in the corner, or early apexing is where that term comes from. And that early apex, by turning early, you now have a decrease in radius exit, which means you got to slow down the corner coming onto the straightaway. Or worse, actually hook a wheel on the outside and crash back to the inside, or you go off here, either way. So we've got to avoid that temptation, your natural instinct, of early apexing at all cost. We have a right-hand turn coming up, so I'm going to get on the extreme left side of my lane. I'm going to get my major speed off in a straight line, then I'm going to bleed the brake back the better it looks. The better it looks meaning I'm making my apex or the inside edge of the road. Ideally, to know you've done the corner right or not is as you're leaving the corner, you're unwinding steering and adding speed. If any time during the corner you've had to add steering or come back off the speed, that corner was wrong. Now, the great part about my other career as on the racetrack or coaching on the racetrack is we can come back here every minute or two to make this better. On the street in a Code 3, you got one shot at this. You got to get it right. So therefore, when we're actually learning a new corner or a new track, if you'll simply brake more than you think you needed to, turn a little later than you wanted to, and you'll live longer than you planned to. An added benefit in addition to the physics of, I need to be way over here to get a better shot down the straightaway, an added benefit, the further you are over here, the more you can see down this straightaway. So you've got an earlier clue if there's pedestrians or cars or traffic there. The tighter you are to the inside edge, your sight picture is diminished and you have no clue what's out there. If you can't see what's in there, don't go flying in there. Happiness is having road left on both sides of the hot rod, leaving the corner. Thanks.